Thanks for listening to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest in American soccer. And don't forget to subscribe.
Hello, listeners, and today is the day USA versus France. Yes, welcome to Uncle Sam's Soccer Podcast. My name is Steven Jotter, and joining me today is Jake Watroba and Armand Kafai. And on today's episode, we discuss the biggest game in women's soccer. Listeners, follow us at Uncle Sam's Soccer Pod. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a 5-star review. Go back, listen to some MLS chat with Joseph Lowry of The Athletic, and our interview with Peter Trebisani, the CEO and club president of New Mexico United. And Armand, it's been a ton of soccer, but this is probably the game I have been looking forward to most, and I think you're on the same page.
I'm genuinely excited. It's going to be a really long day waiting for this game to come, even though it's at 2 p.m., but I'm really excited. It's one of the first times I've been excited as a U.S. national team fan for a match against, two great teams going at it in a fantastic atmosphere at the Parc des Princes in Paris, in front of the whole nation. Oh my God, it's going to be great. I'm so excited.
This is the tournament in my eyes. I think whoever wins this match will be crowned world champions. I'm excited. Leading up to the Spain game, it didn't really feel as though it was going to be a test for the U.S., right? I don't think either one of us thought, the Spanish are going to give them fits. This is going to be a tough matchup for the U.S. Women. But it ended up being as such. And I think heading into this match today, we know France is testy and France is going to give them a good fight today. And it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out.
I mean, it's pretty crazy because you expect, some teams going to have some similar stats. But I mean, outside of their goals allowed, the U.S. women's national team, obviously with their 13-goal thrashing of Thailand, have 20 goals scored versus 9 of France. The U.S. have only allowed 1 goal in the tournament, which was against Spain, while the French have allowed 2 goals. The U.S. is number 1 FIFA-ranked team, while the French is number 4. So it's genuinely 2 of the best teams in the world going head-to-head against each other. And honestly, a great venue. And that Parc des Princes, that's going to be great. In Paris?
I'm super excited for the match as well. I believe the split is 50-50 of Parc des Princes. Now, guys, reading from USA Today, Paris. It's the biggest game in women's soccer ever. Yeah, I agree with that headline. It's an insanely popular match, but as good of a headline that is, let's take a step back and put the ticket resale or ticket prices into perspective.
Yeah, Steven, the most expensive ticket to watch the U.S. women's national team play France later on today, this is according to Vivid Seats, is $11,398. To give you some perspective, again, according to Vivid Seats, Game 6 of the NBA Finals, most expensive ticket on Vivid Seats was $15,888. Pretty impressive, huh, Steven?
Yeah. This is misleading. The most expensive ticket to watch the U.S. women's national team versus France will cost you $11,000. Does not mean all tickets are $11,000. Does not mean the average is going for $11,000. Some jamoke thought that you can get $11,000 from this. You know why I know this? Is if you actually read the original report from Tom Van Haren of ESPN, quote, ticket prices for the United States quarterfinal match against France at the Women's World Cup are skyrocketing, with one seller listing a pair of tickets for more than $11,000 a piece on the secondary market. Okay, so one seller, good for him, utilizing capitalism to his advantage. But then you do a little more research. Business Insider, Tyler Laletta, his headline is, USA-France could become the most expensive game in Women's World Cup history, with tickets hitting the secondary market for as much as $11,000. Again, it's a little bit misleading because you have to read to the third paragraph where he writes, while Those tickets have yet to sell. The high price point is indicative of the massive interest in the match, with plenty more tickets listed in the $1,000 to $3,000 range. Guys, for some reason, we're going off on this crazy tangent about $11,000 tickets. Why can't we just take a step back, call it for what it is? It's the biggest match in Women's World Cup history. Ticket prices do not mean anything, okay? If some jamoke thinks he can get 25 grand out of this, good for them. The demand's there. But let them play. Let's talk about what's going on the field, because that's the excitement level. But these misleading headlines, it is trying to upplay the Women's World Cup when we should just leave it be. Enjoy it. This is why people get annoyed, is that we push all this stuff rather than just enjoying the game. You know what Phil Neville said? I think what we've seen tonight is that Lucy Bronze is the best player in the world. And then he commented to say that what she was doing was beyond what he could have done in his heyday. This is exactly the commentary that should be. Not about ticket prices, not about celebrations, the play on the field. Because right now, what surrounds the U.S. women's national team is Donald Trump's tweet versus Megan Rapinoe. It is not actually about the match against Spain and how that should throw a lot of discomfort. Hope Solo called it lucky. It's annoying. This is why people get annoyed with it. The U.S. women's national team is by far the most talented team ever assembled in women's soccer. And this French host nation is going to put up a fight. Spain put up a fight because there's discipline. Europe is investing in women's soccer. Open your eyes, because Europe is going to catch America if we don't open our eyes to the lack of investment by the Federation. And the Federation is in turmoil. Go read the New York Times article about how people at the Federation, employees of the Federation, want out. It's insane. Anyway, my tangent there, listeners, at Unc Sam Soccer Pod, at Steven Jotter, and at Armaka Fight, at Jake Watroba. What are your thoughts to that?
Jake, do you want to start?
I don't even know where to begin.
I don't even know where to begin.
I have literally just been sitting back and I'm just like, let's let Steven go. Let him go.
Let him go. Let the chains be unleashed. He was just going off. Wow.
No, but Steven, I think you're right. I think there's a lot of U.S. soccer fans, and in particular, U.S. women's national team fans, that need to wake up and realize Europe's coming. These teams in Europe are catching up to the U.S., and you can see it.
Just watch the game against Spain. Watch the game against Spain.
Yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it later today against France too. And France is one of the better teams in the world. Just look how good these teams are. Look how organized they are. Tactically, they're so sound. U.S. doesn't have tactics. The U.S. women's national team, to me, almost seems as though someone just rolled the ball out and like, all right, kids, go play. And they're winning on sheer talent alone. It seems like.
But here's the other issue. I don't think Americans assume that they're so much more talented than everybody else, and they are. But what surrounds the discussion regarding this U.S. women's national team is all the off-the-field, quote-unquote, politics. It's not actually what's going on. Jill Ellis should be under a ton of criticism for their performance against Spain. Nobody actually wants to talk about how lucky they were to escape.
But Steven, you want to know why, right? And we've talked about this off the mic. You know what? I'm not afraid to come say it on the mic as well. There's a little bit of I would call a fanboy, fangirl, whatever culture on the U.S. women's national team. It's just the truth. With the U.S. men's national team, there isn't. There really isn't a fanboy, fangirl thing of, Greg, we really stood on the show. Greg has been ripped left and right. With the women's national team, I just feel like there is a little bit of a fanboy, fangirl culture. Everyone protects everyone. The amount of times I really, like you said, Steven, I have really, and I am a journalist who covers soccer in this country. I follow plenty of soccer journalists. I haven't seen that much, Jill Ellis this, Jill Ellis that. But what I have seen, Greg needs to go, Greg this, Greg that, Greg's bad, Greg this. It's so just wow. Because look, the U.S. beat Spain. but they beat Spain convincingly? No.
Hell
and I think
no.
we
Absolutely
all
not.
agree with that. There's not even a chance. Jill Ellis should be under fire because this is a Spain team that apparently no one that they're 4 years away, aren't that this they're working on their infrastructure, all that good stuff. But in reality, a U.S. team with all this talent, with easily the best talent in the world, got pushed to the limit. Like, there's a problem there, and she should be criticized. But she won't. But they won't. They won't. Lindsey Horan not starting and resting her for the game against France.
And then playing her.
And guys, I had a friend text me and said, "Guy, I have a really bad feeling about this game because that's a very arrogant line of thinking." You know how arrogant it is to rest one of your best players for the next match that isn't guaranteed? It's not like they won the group and they're just like, okay, we're waiting.
But the funny thing is, it was the inconsistency of it. I'm going to rest the player and make sure she doesn't get a second yellow, and then I'm going to bring her on, and then just completely waste the 60 minutes that she could have been used beforehand. I mean, it's mind-boggling. And to be fair, there are a couple articles out there. There was one written, Armand, you sent me, and you said this is a good article because it said the headline, I don't have it in front of me, but paraphrasing now, was anybody could coach the U.S. women's national team because Jill Ellis has that mindset. It seems like she just plops the best 11, and this should absolutely be a fear. It should be a fear by the American fan because France will be ready for that.
Steven, I'm sorry to interrupt you, man. But guys, one of the best attackers in NWSL, Crystal Dunn, is a fullback. Guys, she's a fullback.
Hey, what other coach played a striker at fullback? Did he remain as coach, or did he eventually get sacked? And they kind of failed. What other coach did that?
You're setting me up here.
Who did that? Who tried that once? I don't think it really worked all that well in that individual's favor. Can somebody tell me who that was?
I believe it was it Bruce Arena?
Ah, interesting. He lasted quite long after that move at the Los Angeles Galaxy. Oh, wait, now he's at one of the worst brand organizations in all of MLS, the New England Revolution. Anyway, listeners, the excitement for France today is through the roof. I can't wait for this match.
I'm excited, guys. I'm beyond excited, like, to be honest with you. And it's the first time in a while I've been this excited for a soccer match. As a national team perspective, yes.
100%.
100%.
You know why? Because the outcome is not certain. I remember when the U.S. went up on Spain, I sat there, I'm like, do I even want to turn this game on? And then suddenly Spain scored, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm in. And I sat there for the next hour and a half, and I was into the match. But it is the off-the-field nonsense created mostly by the media.
What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of the off-the-field stuff? What do you guys think of it?
It takes away from actually talking about the Women's World Cup because it's interjected and intermingled and mixed with a bunch of stuff that you sit there and you have to take sides and you get called names. Listeners, how difficult is it for you to have an objective opinion about the U.S. women's national team? At Unc Sam Soccer Pod. We want to hear it. We've covered the U.S. women's national team. We did a World Cup preview. We were excited for it, but we've been waiting. We circled this match against France. But apart from Spain putting up a fight, this U.S. women's national team has been somewhat boring because they steamroll everybody.
It is, and they have. But I don't think the women's national team for that. And I would like to say, and we don't like getting a little political on this podcast. I like the way May Rapinoe talked about her comments that kind of surfaced they were made earlier, 2, 3, 4 months ago. They kind of resurfaced now about going to the White House. I like how she addressed it and said, hey, look, I stand by them, but we're not here for that. We are here for the game. So our focus is on that. And you know what? I genuinely believe that the U.S. is not letting any of this distract them.
That's good, and that's important.
I believe that because I believe they're very, because they've gone through some stuff. Like these women haven't like not gone through things. They've gone through, I think, much worse than
they're not getting paid that much.
Else. Exactly. They've gone through pay student federation. They've gone through all this. I don't think something like this will even distract them for this game against a very good France team, which play very good football. And it's a clash. It's a cultural clash of the old guard of the U.S. national team always being powerful versus the new resurgent investments made in women's football across. That's what we're seeing. And that's going to be so fascinating to me to see how far has these countries who are now investing in women's football have come versus the powerhouse that's gone complacent.
Guys, this match is a coin flip. The U.S. women's national team is surrounded by a ton of media chaos. Twitter is a chaotic minefield regarding the U.S. women's national team. Headlines in newspapers. It's chaos. It's all chaos. Can they put that noise aside and can they focus against France? It's going to be a tough match.
Steven, it'll be interesting to see how the noise on the outside affects the women on the field later today. But that's it for our show, listeners. I know wasn't much of a preview of this game later on today, but make sure you follow us on Twitter at UncSamSoccerPod. Make sure you follow Steven Jodaran at Steven Jodaran, and make sure you follow Armand Kafai at Armand Kafai. You can follow yours truly at Jake Watroba. Be on the lookout tomorrow. We're going to talk a little U.S. men's national team as they get ready for their big match against Curacao on Sunday.
It's a hot one.
For Steven and Armand, I'm Jake. We'll talk to you guys later.